Hey, Shalom, Shalom, stuff. All's by giving no praise to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua, Hashem, Rakak, double honors to the apostles of GMS and honors to you brothers doing the work in truth. While sincerity, this is one from the RT says female offenders to be jailed only when guilty of violent crime. Ministry of Justice, right? That's over here in the UK, right? But hey, they ain't saying the same thing about men. Right, and then they make a whole load of excuses. You can read the article, right? Make a whole load of excuses, this, that, and the other, right? Would you call it? Saying why they should not, would you call it, be going to prison and all of that, right? It just goes to show you that would you call it? This guy's just the devil, and this is one of the ones that comments I saw. Right, it says next time I'm up in court, I'll tell the judge I identify as a woman. Why? Because Esau has brought about confusion. Right, he's brought about confusion where it's like, okay, but I identify as a woman, so you can't jail me. Right, I mean, this is just Esau being Esau, right? And it's also fulfillment of the scriptures, right? For instance, one of the things it said here, gender wars punish women less than men equals equality, right? Basically talking about how this is blatant sexual discrimination, blah 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 blah. This is the same guy that will, speak about equality, blah 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 blah, and then goes around doing shit like this, right? This is Jeremiah 31:22 says, how long will thou go about, O thy backsliding daughter? For Yahweh hath created a new thing in the earth, a woman shall compass a man, right? So, and you see that happening, all over, no matter, what angle you're looking at it from. You have these women that are now above men, right? Really can't do wrong. You think about it, right? In this day and age, women really can't, they don't have consequences, right? You have a woman killer, kill someone, and then it will be maybe, let me say, kill their husband, maybe the husband was beating her or whatever, this, that, and the other, right? But that's contrary to what the law of Israel says. Law of Israel is very plain, right? Or what else? A woman gets pregnant by someone and she doesn't want the baby. Guess what? She aborts it. What else? Gets would you? Yeah, but I'm just giving examples, but that's basically the world that we're living in now, right? This is Romans 2:11. This is for there is no respect of persons with the Most High, right? So the Lord, Lord isn't a respecter of person, right? You can't, would you call it, say, oh, but I'm such and such to the Lord, and the Lord goes, okay, actually, no, I won't, meet judgment with that, right? So the Lord aid, when it comes to the Lord aid, but don't get me wrong, because the Lord has his, the Lord says, I'll have mercy on whom I'll have mercy, right? But there's no respect of persons with the Lord, man, right? It says, what do you call it? Deuteronomy 16:19. It says, thou shalt not rest judgment, for thou shalt not respect persons. Thou shalt not rest judgment, right? So look up this word, wretch, spread out by implication, to bend away, stretch out, extend, spread out, pitch, turn, pervert, right? Right, pervert, alter something from its original course, meaning, or state to a distortion or corruption. Right, so basically, thou shalt not corrupt judgment, right? Neither take a gift, right? For a gift doth blind the eyes of the wise and pervert the words of the righteous, right? So thou shalt not respect a person, same thing again, right? Thou shalt not respect, basically what the judgment is, don't pervert that judgment, don't try and make it go this way and that way. You see, would you call it, like the example I gave, it's like, okay, you killed a man, you're gonna say, oh, but he used to beat you, but did you kill him? Then you look in the law, what's the law of murder? You shall be put to death, and that's what it is. Obviously, not saying go around just, scriptures talk about being a lion in your house. You ain't supposed to do that, right? as a man, because there's balance to everything, right? But you'd beat your kid, and your woman's just a big kid, right? Yeah, so thou shalt not respect persons. So you shouldn't say no. You're this, you're that. Judgment is judgment, right? And we're gonna see that when the Lord comes back, right? It's Ezekiel 9. I'm gonna start from verse what do you call it? Verse 4. It says, and Yahweh said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and said to mark upon the foreheads of the men that sign, that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Right, one of the abominations that you have, is the way Esau has basically put a woman above a man. That's an abomination. Because the scriptures, Lord has set out an order, but once again, Esau's just come around and he's turned things upside down. Right, this is 1 Corinthians 11 and 3. It says, but I would have you know that the head of every man is Yahushai, right, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Mashiach is the Most High, right? So that's telling you the hierarchy. That's telling you the order and where everyone sits in the world, right? You read what do you call it? I forget exactly where it is. When the Lord was speaking about when you vow a vow, when a man vows a vow, his vow stands by default. When a woman vows a vow, if her husband, if she's living with her husband, and if her husband hears it and he says, "Nah, you ain't gonna keep that," then the husband has power to what do you call it? To annul that vow, and so the father of that woman, right? But like I said, it's Isaiah 29:16 says, surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. Right, so Esau's coming, he's turning everything upside down. Well, you have the hierarchy as mentioned here in 1 Corinthians 11 and 3, but Esau has flipped it around. Right, he's now said that a woman's above a man. You be around these men in the world, whether it's at a job or whatever, and they are so deep in their woman's vagina, it's unreal. Right, making jokes that ain't even what you call it, ain't even you can't even condone those jokes. You just look at you like you see the woman make all kinds of off jokes around their man, and the man just takes it, right? And I say that's one of the reasons personally. Obviously, it's a spirit. That's why one of the reasons I believe that a lot of these women don't, although they might dig a brother, they know what it is if they were to deal with a brother, and therefore they don't, right? They don't want to have a man over them that controls them. They like that they need someone they can control, because this is the power that's been given to them, despite the fact that they themselves like being controlled. And that's what I'm saying. It's all this confusion that is in the world. It's absolute confusion, right? As we say in here in London, don't know if it's said in America, but a lot of them don't want to be what you call it, on smash, right? They want to be under subjection. You see that, especially our woman, the black woman. They'll come up and we'll tell them about what you call it. You're supposed to be, subservient to your man. Thus saith the scriptures. They don't want to hear that, right? This is 1 Timothy 2 and 11. It says, let the woman learn in silence with all subjection, right? Subordination, right? So basically, you under, right? It says, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man. Right? And I'll say some brothers have women as managers, right? And that's completely off, man. It says, but to be in silence, right? For Adam was first formed, then Eve, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression, right? And notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing, right? So, when it comes to this thing of ours, right? You what you call it? You thinking you're a woman, Lord, right? Hey, get with a brother in the truth, man. right? You know, that's how you're going to be saved. Not dealing with a man of the Lord. Right? It says, if they continue in faith and charity and holiness and sobriety. But that was the point I wanted to get, nor to usurp authority over the man. Right? You ain't supposed to be going above the man, but that's just the world that we live in today. That's the world that Esau's created, you know, because Esau's a faggot, man. Right? I'll get this real quick. It's Sirach 10 and 4. Esau being a so-called white man. Right? In fact, 10 from the top says, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. Right? It says, as the judge of the people is himself, so is his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. And Esau, the so-called white man's a ruler in this world. Right? And look at the people. Look at you know what's been created. Right? You've got, like I said, given the examples, you've got these men that will happily let their woman trample all over them. Right? And won't do anything about it. And then, you know, you breed a culture where then now these women are around real men, and they wanna play the harlot. So they'll be like, nah, I ain't, you know, and they'll be like, nah, I don't wanna, you know, be under subjection under this guy. Like I said, we've got the examples at camp, how women will scoff whenever we bring the fact that they're supposed to be in subjection. Let me get this. Right, it says 1 Peter 3 and 6. It says, even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, right? Whose daughters ye are, as long as ye do well and are not afraid with our amazement. Right, so Sarah called Abraham Lord. You know, and it says obey. So Sarah, you know, Abraham said, do something. Sarah best do it. Right, it says calling him Lord. Right, so basically someone that is over you. Right, but now what do you have? Now you have men bowing down. Whereas, you know, you look at the origins of that. One of the things they say it is possibly goes back to is what knights would do. They'd bow down to their lord. So basically showing you how the tables have been completely turned. Right. So yeah, I mean that was a bit of a diversion. But you know that was all to carry on in here, right? It says back in Ezekiel 9, we'll go to verse 5. It says, and to the others he said, in mine hearing, go ye after him through this city and smite. Let not your eye spare, neither have ye pity. Right? Yeah, so hey, that's straight into the point. It says, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women. Right? So, and what does that sound like? Right, Romans 2:11, for there is no respect of persons with the Most High. Deuteronomy 16:19, thou shalt not rest judgment. Right, hey, what is it? Oh, let me get that was this is Proverbs 6:16. It says, these 6 things doth Yahweh hate, yea, 7 are abomination unto him. The first thing it says there is a proud look. The Lord hates pride, right? That's just Sirach 10:18. It says, pride was not made for men, nor furious anger for them that are born of a woman. Right, so like reason why I'm going into pride is because, you know, once again in this world, women are proud as all hell, and that's something that the Lord hates. Right, the Lord absolutely hates that, man, because at the end of the day, what you got to be proud for? You can't, you can't stop them period pains. Yet you're proud. Right, so that's one of the reasons why, you know, and in that, so because I got into all of that, says thou shalt not rest judgment. So part of the judgment is a lot of these women are fucking wicked, man. You know, committing all manners of abortions, you know, going around all proud and shit. Right, so their judgment's gonna come to them. Right, this is let me get this real quick. It's Isaiah 32:9. It says, rise up, ye women that are at ease, right? And you see it right now, man. They're at ease. Like I said, women right now really hasn't got any, what's the word I'm looking for? Hasn't got any repercussions to her actions. Like I said, she goes around being a slut, spreads her legs, doesn't want the child, she can abort it. Obviously not condoning that, but like I said, that's just the world we're in, right? She wants the child but can't afford the child. Don't worry, the state will take care of it, right? Not good enough at a job, just file a complaint, say, I was fired, without cause or whatever, because I'm a woman, discrimination, blah 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 blah, right? What goes around dressed like a slut, everyone protects them, right? It says, hear my voice, ye careless daughters, give ear unto my speech, right? Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease, be troubled, ye careless ones, strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins, right? So let me carry on. This back in Ezekiel 9:5. It says, and to the 6, sorry, it says, slay out the old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, right? That mark of exemption, right? It says, and begin at my sanctuary. So that's begin with Israel. So begin with the Israelite woman, whether that's the so-called black woman, the nigger woman, the Latino woman. A lot of them, they be going off. A lot of them like anal, for instance. That's going off. Right, a lot of them will be dealing with these Edomites or whatever, and little children. Hey, you look at all of these young fucks, young little niggas. Right, just going around, just putting a shame on the Most High's name. Right, so basically saying start with these of Israel. Right, it says, then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. Right, so begin with Israel, man. Right, like I said, I just went through that to show you that according to the scriptures, A1, the Lord is not a respecter of persons. Right, the Lord did say, who have mercy on whom He have mercy. Right, but with us, you read Deuteronomy 16:19. It says, look, thou shalt not respect persons. We ain't the Most High to give a man mercy. The Lord can do that. We ain't got that authority or that power. Who are we? Right? Mercy in terms of, in terms of judgment. Right? If a man commits adultery, a man's committed adultery. If a man's killed someone, a man's killed someone. Right? But with that, Lord's will, you were edified. Until the next time, Shalom.